Hey everybody, welcome to my channel, Dr. G Cooks. Tonight we're going to make risotto, traditional dish of northern Italy. Rumor has it that this rice was first brought to the northern Italian regions in the 14th century BC by Arab merchants. And it's the preferred rice for risotto because it's a big grain, but mostly it's really starchy. So it will release that into the dish, making it incredibly creamy, which is really what risotto is all about. The nice thing about risotto too, you can be incredibly versatile with it. Tonight, we're gonna do a porcini and shiitake risotto with peas, but you can do risotto with almost anything. You can use cuttlefish, lobster, mushrooms. When in season, I would advise you to do this recipe, but instead of the porcini that I'm using tonight, use morel mushrooms. Morels really go well with risotto. And people think of Italian starch as being pasta. Really, risotto is the original Italian pasta. So having said that, let's get right into the ingredients. You're going to need 8 cups of chicken stock. You can make it yourself. You can use bone broth, which is really good. For this dish, we're going to use 1 cup of fresh peas. We're going to use 1 medium-sized red onion that you're going to dice up. You're going to have 1.5 cups of arborio rice. It has to be arborio. And one other key to this rice, traditionally when we make rice, right, with our Asian dishes, because as you know, I'm half Asian, I'm Jewish and Asian, which makes me Jasian, you wash it. Don't wash this rice. You need the starch. You're going to have 4 tablespoons of butter. You're going to have 16 ounces of a mixture of shiitake and porcini mushroom. If you can't find fresh porcini, you can always find dry. We're going to have 1/2 cup of grated Parmesan. And then, whoa, can you hear that? That's my Coravin. I've never had it do that before. It's like releasing gas. Kind of interesting. It's not me. I'm not the one releasing gas, okay? It's the Coravin. And then you're going to need 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil. So that's the ingredients. You're going to love this dish. Great to cook for a date. And that's it. Bon appetit. Let's go ahead and do some Dr. G Cooks. I'll meet you over at the stove. So we've got our onion nice and translucent. It's been cooking here under very low heat for about 6 minutes or so. It looks really good. So at this point, I'm going to add all my mushrooms. Now we'll cook those for about another, we'll saute them until they're brown. Okay? I'll turn the heat up just a little bit to medium. And you can see over here, I've got my chicken stock warming up, and you don't want it boiling, but when you start ladling it into the rice, it needs to be warm. So we're just going to get it to simmer, and it's really amazing how much rice, how much liquid will absorb into this rice. If you ever have a big spill in your house, you can just throw arborio rice everywhere and sop it up. No, I don't think you can really do that, but you get the idea. So go ahead and cook this. We'll come back after the mushrooms are fully sauteed. So as you can see, the mushrooms are looking really tasty. They're nicely browned, a little caramelization. And so now we take our arborio rice, 1.5 cup, so 1.5 cup of that arborio rice, and just dump it in. And then you're just going to saute all this together for about 3 minutes. You want to wait until the rice has a little bit of a translucency to it. And then we're going to start adding the broth and absorbing it into the rice. We'll start this up again in 1 second when it's time to put the chicken broth in. So now you can see the rice is somewhat translucent. Okay, looks really nice. And then I'm going to ladle in of the warm broth. So this is maybe a little less than 1/2 cup, and I'll just ladle in about 1/2 cup at a time and stir until it's absorbed. And you've got to do this the whole time. So If you have weak arms, you want to date someone with strong arms so that they can stir this, because you got to stir the whole time. Once you start, you're not going to get to stop stirring. Okay? So you can see how quickly that absorbed. Now we'll just do that again. And this is going to take you about 15 minutes to get all the broth into the rice. So we'll just keep working it. So now you can see this nice creamy consistency. We put 8 cups of nice chicken broth in there. It's fully absorbed, and you just want to see this nice creamy consistency. So I turn the heat off now, and the last thing we're going to do is we're going to add our cheese, our Parmesan cheese, and our butter, and we're going to stir that up till it all melts. Okay, so we'll stir all that in. Stir kind of vigorously when you add this component. And this really shapes up the dish. And then the last thing we'll do is throw our peas in. They will literally cook inside the warm rice mixture. And we'll top it with some Italian parsley. And that will be that. Look how nice and creamy that looks. Beautiful risotto. So the butter and the Parmesan is fully incorporated. So now we'll add a cup of peas and just gently mix that in. And that's it. That's pretty much the dish. We're going to plate it now. I'll show you how to plate it for your guest, because really you should only have one guest for this dish. Okay. So there it is, our finished porcini, mushroom, and pea risotto. So really beautiful dish, incredibly simple to make. I top it with Parmesan cheese and a little bit of chopped Italian parsley. I want to thank you guys for following Dr. G Cooks and encourage you to share this channel with all your friends and family, even people you don't like. Just share it with everyone, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thanks so much. Have a great night.